You know, the story of First Evangelical Free Church is really a story of God's faithfulness, and I'd say it's a story of God's faithfulness in our lives as well.
In the late 80s, Rob was the youth and college pastor at Westlake Bible Church. And in the spring of 1988, I became his administrative assistant. And during the next several months as I worked for Rob, I realized that he was sensing God's leading to move from the college youth position into a senior pastorate.
First Free was looking for a senior pastor, and they actually called me.
I knew that First Evangelical Free Church was declining in attendance, and I knew that people were really concerned that the church might eventually have to close its doors since it was having such small numbers, and a lot of the people still attending were senior adults. I knew many were really praying and asking God to revitalize the ministry.
Maureen Townsend called.
Yeah.
And just asked the question, would I be interested in coming? Do you remember
And I
that?
said, yes, of course.
Yeah. And why did you say that?
Because the people there were so lovely and so warm, and it was like that older generation that had walked with the Lord longer than I'd even been alive, and I wanted to be a part of their lives.
Absolutely.
I was going to go whether Rob went or not.
Absolutely. And so here's what we did. To get over the hurdle, we made a pro-con list. And
I wrote down the pros, and he wrote down the cons.
Which were they were like twice as many cons as there were pros. Do you remember that?
No.
But then, at the end of the day, how was it we decided? Do you remember?
Well, you have to go with God.
Absolutely.
And with the Holy Spirit, and it was just, He put it on our hearts to do.
Absolutely.
There was no choice.
I remember well the heralds walking down the hall at the First Evangelical Free Church. There was Kylie, she was 3. Stephen was 5. Kathy was there.
You know, we were young. I was 35, and Kathy was much younger than 35.
Yes.
And we just realized, you know, we go over, we give it a try, and give it our best shot. And at the end of the day, if it didn't work, we're young, we could do something else. But if it does work, the only thing that could be said is God did it. God was faithful.
Rob Harold's first service was September the 2nd, 1990. And as I looked over the congregation, I could see that there was many people there that hadn't been there before.
Well, before Rob came, we were down to about 70 people, and those people were all elderly. And as I say, when Rob came, I brought a number of people with him. Of course, he brought young people too.
The first Sunday we were there was just remarkable. We'd received a blessing from Westlake Bible Church the previous week, and off we went. About 200 students came with us that first Sunday. And it was just amazing. The church went from about 70 people to about 270 in one Sunday.
And what was fun is half of the congregation was over 55 and the other half was under 25.
Absolutely. That's exactly what it was.
It was great. We loved it.
It was awesome.
And we got the greatest letter from one of the women that said, I was so delighted not to sit by myself in the pew last Sunday. And it was worth that one letter made it worth it all.
Absolutely. And that was the start of a lot of wonderful, exciting things. It just took off from there.
Before Pastor Rob came to speak, I looked out at that congregation and I said, I know instant coffee, I know instant tea, and now I know instant congregation.
As I reflect back on the last 20 years and the people I know who prayed so much the church would survive, I thought back to the first part of Ephesians 3:20. Now to him who is able to do abundantly more than we could ever ask or imagine. And I think that personifies what has occurred the last 20 years. And I'm really thankful that I got to be a part of that.